Hi, welcome to another edition of Lip Smack and Love. Today is Spiritual Sunday, and the title of my talk today is Happiness Requires That You Own Your Own Stuff. For me, spirituality and personal growth go hand in hand. That's what it's all about. It's about growing and expanding our ability to love and be loved. It's not about going up into it is for some people, but for those of us that kind of live a normal life, it's not about going up and hanging out on a mountaintop and just being. That's one kind of spirituality, but it's not for whoever's watching, probably for whoever's watching this video, because you're doing what I'm doing. You're out there living life. So it's really about growing from inside so that your daily life becomes more and more manageable, more and more joyful. That's why personal growth goes with spirituality. As we expand our ability to enjoy life, to celebrate life, and to honor this gift of being human that we have, we're the caretakers of this spirit and soul and body, then we're able to enjoy life more. And it takes work. That's the bottom line. That's why they call it personal growth work. So, that's okay. In real life, our buttons get pushed. And that's an opportunity for us to go, holy moly, what's that about? And then we learn from that. If we just keep letting the buttons get pushed and we react, or we decided I'm going to pull away from that happening again, then we're not growing. So when your buttons get pushed and you overreact in particular, that's your time to go, okay, we're going to get here and learn something about ourselves, clear that crud out of the way so that we can love more deeply, more openly, more passionately. It's the bottom line. I know when I mentioned own your own stuff, it made me think years ago, 14, 15 years ago, I was out of a 29-year marriage and didn't have a clue about how to start dating, and AOL and the whole thing was just coming into its own. And they didn't have dating sites then, but they did have this part in AOL where you could put your profile up. And so I put this really great profile saying how wonderful I was, how fun I was, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things, which was sort of my way of asking, are you doing a little bit of personal growth here? Because I needed to, relate. And I said, I'm looking for a man who owns his own stuff. And I put quotes around that. So this one man, he wrote to me and he, commented on several things that I mentioned. And he said, I own my own condo, but my car is leased. He didn't have a clue what I was talking about. But that's okay. We ended up going together for 18 months, and it was a pretty spicy relationship, and I'm really grateful for that man coming into my life. So, own your own stuff. Really, what that means is that you take responsibility for what goes on in your life. And this is a very difficult concept for a lot of people. I have met more people that have read all the books and they can speak the language and they say they're spiritual and that they do personal growth, but they don't really. They don't really go inside and take a hard look. And that requires some real serious honesty. Self-reflection is not just about going, oh, look what's going on in there, and my mom did this and that, but that's not what it's about. It's about going in there and saying, holy moly, look what I've created. So what do we need to do here to clear the pathway so that stuff isn't in there jerking me around? That's really what happens when our buttons get pushed. So you need to be able to own this junk that goes on inside of us. It's not, it's a part of you. And if it's a part of you, it's a part of, your godness. It's not bad stuff. It's just an opportunity to learn. And as we clear it away, we grow. We grow our capacity. Growing to me is growing your capacity to love. Open your heart and love and be loved. It goes both directions. Buddha, I'm not any particular religion, but if someone put a gun to my head and said, you have to pick a religion, name it, I'd say Buddhism. And Buddhism isn't even a religion, it's a philosophy. And the reason I like Buddhism is because it's accepting of wherever you are. Exactly where you are is perfect. That's why I like Buddhism. Buddha said life is suffering. And a lot of times people say that's what life's about. Yeah, life is suffering. What he really meant was that life is suffering and you need to get a grip on it and realize that you're in charge of how much suffering you're going to do. He's really a personal growth teacher. Get in there and see why you're reacting to life in such a way that you create all this suffering. Take responsibility for what's going on in your life. Look in the mirror. Take that hard, brutally honest look in the mirror. Take responsibility for what's going on in your life. I used to teach workshops. They were small. No more than 8 in a group, preferably no less than 7, because it seemed like somebody was always missing, not showing up. It was 10 sessions, and they were amazing. They really were. People grew and changed and loved it. They loved it. But I noticed there was certain times there'd be somebody in the room, and these were groups of women, generally. I would love to have done just a group of men, but all I could do was get mixed groups. And I couldn't get enough men to fill the room, but I could get a group where I had 3 or 4 men in the room, and they were very special. But usually it was women, and I can picture this one woman in particular. She's when the lights went on, but I'd had a couple others. It's like everybody in the group would change and grow and be so grateful with what they were learning and how their lives were improving. But there would be this one type of woman, and I realized they were blamers. They didn't take responsibility. It was my parents' fault, the circumstances, my ex-husband, my husband, whatever. It was always about something going on outside impacting them. That's the fault, not my own. They wouldn't be able to see that, you know what? In every one of those situations, you were in that dance too. You were involved with every one of those people. You were in every one of those situations. So look and see, why? Why are you having this same kind of thing go on all the time? It's because they don't see their part in the dance. They're not taking responsibility. That's the bottom line. You can't grow until you see what's wrong. And you can't see what's wrong until you admit it. So that's really an important lesson to learn. Until we see our part in everything that happens, we won't know what to do to make the changes. So just, it's about taking responsibility. And it seems strange that would be the conversation in a topic that's called spirituality. But that's the bottom line. You need to learn what you can do consciously in the choices you make to open your heart to greater and greater levels of love. You'll be happier, and you'll watch it. It's not like it happens overnight. Once you get on this path, it's just a lovely adventure, one step at a time. So that's all for now, and I'm wishing you lots of lip smacking love. Mwah.